Abuja is on red alert over the federal government saying that it discovered a plot by terrorists to attack the federal capital territory. According to a leaked memo from the Nigerian Immigration Service, there may be terrorist attacks in Abuja between now and the end of the year by foreign terrorists who plan to enter Nigeria from Mali using the Niger Republic route. But to ensure that it never happens, security agents say they are now manning both land and sea borders. The NIS warning comes a few weeks after the Department of State Services raised an alarm over plans by terrorists to attack military bases and border towns across the country. This is the crux of our discussion next. Joining me to shed light on this is security consultant Darlington Umoru. Darlington, good morning and compliments of the season.
Well, Mike, I don't know if your compliment is good enough yet.
Okay. What will make it good enough?
Well, when I'm leaving, you understand. I'll say what goes with me. If at the end of the day I'm going the way I came.
No, don't worry. You will go happier. You will go happier. You will go happier. I'm telling you will go happier.
Okay. It's good that viewers have heard you.
That your has plenty of things.
No, viewers have heard you, so we have something to hold on at the end of the day.
Good to see you, though.
Great,
good to see you. Yeah, exactly. Now, on this issue, I know you've been following this development. The alarm raised by, in fact, a few days ago, people have been talking about this alarm by the DSS on one hand and the Nigerian Immigration Service on the other. Well, from your end, I believe that this is not the first time we're receiving that kind of a threat from, alarm rather, from security agents. What news should one look at?
Well, first off, I want to commend the DSS, well, for being proactive. Security, if you must conquer insecurity, you should be able to be ahead of whoever wants to carry out any attack. And that means that your intelligence report, you must be able to have your intelligence gathering strongly and upright and quickly at the same time. Beyond recommending them, I also want to fault the NIS, the Nigerian Immigration Service, for allowing that information to go public. It is wrong, absolutely wrong. If there's a security report that has to do with invasion, you don't blow it out up until the suspects are followed and arrested. Now, from what I read, apparently the DSS had done profiling on those who were going to be involved in that nefarious activity. Apparently, they said between 17th and 31st of December, and the target was Abuja. And then they know from the profiling, they know about the movement of the Algerian who answers different names in different international passports. Even we also from the profiling, it was also discovered that he also carries a diplomatic passport. And now, if all of that was known, and then the route that he was going to take, Mali, Niger, and then into Nigeria. From Niger into Nigeria, you have the Lela border and the Jibia borders. Well, they also added Seme and Idiroko for land borders. But what I know they would have also have done, which was not said, was also to monitor the illegal routes. These ones mentioned are the legal routes, land border legal routes. But there are so many illegal routes that smugglers follow, terrorists follow, that are not really recorded, but are still within the records of the security agents. They also added airports, Lagos, Kano, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Abuja, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Kano for the north, and then Lagos for the same way they brought in Seme. Wonderful profiling, wonderful intel report, but jinxed and destroyed by the agency that was meant to monitor the movement of humans into the country, whose responsibility it is, who the Constitution bestowed that singular responsibility on, talking about the NIS, for allowing a letter that was sent to them, and then the one they now circulated to their various commanders to be leaked out to the public. Then, if it is leaked, The man who is coming to carry out that attack will also have read, is also monitoring, and would have also known that it's being followed. The vehicle, the white Hilux, was from the profiling was mentioned. The registration number of that Hilux was mentioned. It was simple. It was simple. Follow him. Follow him up until the point when you have enough evidences to arrest him. Why break the news why allow it go to the public? It's security matter, for goodness sake. We're talking about terrorism. In Mali, where it's supposed to follow, we have Al-Shabaab operating in Mali, on the Sahel, and then down to Niger. We were told that it was going to pick a Nigerian, and then 4 Nigerians were already on ground for him to work, which meant that from the profiling, there were supposed to be 6 men that were meant to carry out these attacks. And then the target was Abuja. Why Abuja?
Exactly.
And then if the target was Abuja, hang on, Mike, be patient. I know you like bombarding me. But just be patient with me this morning. This is Christmas season. Mike, why Abuja? Don't forget that recently the same DSS had released a report, proactive report, to say that terrorists were coming to hit Abuja some time ago, if you remember that, if you recall that. And then security measures were put in place and less of it was heard. Now the issue of foreigners coming to invade, it's no news as far as I am concerned. Boko Haram is not populated by Nigerians alone. ISWAP is not populated by Nigerians alone. We know that activities of these terrorists are not limited to Nigeria. They cut across the Sahel. Don't forget that from the time the fall of Libya happened, proliferation of small arms and light weapons became so porous. Yeah. Illicit movement of small arms and light weapons became a common thing. Today you want to ask yourself, the fear for me today, Mike, is not just about foreigners coming into Nigeria to invade. I'm looking at the possibility of these terrorists now having rocket launchers. That is my greatest fear, Mike. That is my greatest fear. For terrorists to be in possession of rocket launchers gives me goosebumps, pimples. It's something everybody should be worried about. Now, I think our security agencies, as much as the DSS is up and doing, and then those of you who are meant to man certain areas, the DSS cannot do everything. The NIS is responsible for the movement of humans in and out of the country. And so if a letter was sent to you to say, please be at alert, watch out for this, why would it go to the public? Why would that report be leaked? And so what happens next? It means the terrorist has to re-strategize. Abuja is the seat of power. Abuja is our seat of power. Abuja is the miniature part of this country. Sorry, the miniature of Nigeria that we have, because that is where the presidency, the executive, the national, the legislature, and everybody, even the head of the judiciary, sits. So if we have issues like that, I think the security agencies should call to order some of these persons and then subsequently follow up. That's what you call follow up in security matters. You lead them to a point where you can actually arrest all of them. Now, how do you arrest anybody?
All right. You asked a rhetoric question earlier on, which I think it's something to explore, because, like you said, this is not the first time we hear an alarm being raised that there's a plan to attack Abuja. What is the catch? Why Abuja? Why Abuja? Why are foreign terrorists looking at Nigeria, looking at Abuja? What's that thing? What's the attention or attraction in Abuja that makes terrorist organizations or whatever they are want to attack?
Abuja is your seat of power. I said that earlier on. I guess if you recall, Abuja is your seat of power. If Abuja is destabilized, the entire country is destabilized. So if the focus or the attention is to destabilize the government, where do you go to? You can't go to Lagos. You can't come to Lagos. What you do in Maiduguri affects the country, but not as much as when you recall the era of the previous administration, the Jonathan administration. The main target then was Abuja. We had lots of bombings in Abuja. And so if the seat of power is restless, if the seat of power is confused, if there's confusion there and then they cannot operate, then the country is down. everything is affected. Development is affected. Your economy is affected. Politics is affected. Every human activity is affected, because everything about governance trickles down from Abuja to the other states in the country. So apparently, if anybody is targeting Abuja, you should not be surprised. If the main target is Abuja, you should not be surprised. That is your seat of power. That is where you have the #1 citizen of this country. That is where you have the executive. And then we said it here before Christmas, when we talked about Christmas, when we talked about where terrorists will want to attack, at times like this, because they know that some persons will drop their guards because the celebration will be in top gear. Yeah. So, Mike, the essence of all of this was apparently, the report has not shown precisely why Ali was intending to, hit Abuja, which will be very difficult apparently, particularly when it's coming by road. And then through the routes, it's a long journey. It's a long distance. Okay, even though he had men on the ground. Well, those men may not be exactly the entire team, but 4 Nigerians, 1 Nigerian, and then he himself an Algerian, and then it's the essence of coming through the route he was coming through the Sahel and all of that. Then, Mike, I don't think it would have been that easy, particularly when you're planning to hit the seat of power, Abuja. It would have been the most difficult thing to achieve.
The profiling or the network of intelligence, knowing that he's a Nigerian, and then he's coming from Mali.
He's an Algerian.
Also Algerian, sorry. An Algerian coming from Mali, and then all the routes as the case may be.
Through Mali, Niger.
It tells that there's a lot of intelligent work that has gone into all of these. But why is it challenging to work? What's the let me talk about the issue of collaboration between Nigeria and some of these countries and all of that. How challenging would it be to even arrest him or arrest the network of persons before he even gets to Nigeria, since they know who he is and who he's working with and the route he's taking?
But you must have enough evidence to charge him before you make arrest. Okay. It's not enough to gather intelligence and say this is to happen. What have you? It's easy to say, okay, Mike. Sorry, not this my mic in the studio now. Another mic is going somewhere, and it will be going with an AK-47. That is not tenable in court until you arrested him with the AK-47 rifle. I don't know if you understood that. What was necessary was that the man ought to have been followed. Follow him up until a point where you have all of those evidences, you catch him with them, and then you can take him to court. Well, diplomatic relations, well, you find, I'm sure Nigeria has diplomatic relationship with some of these countries. Apparently, they would have also been put on alert. And some of this information, mind you, wouldn't have just come from here. Perhaps Interpol would have been involved. Report from Interpol and all of that would have helped the DSS to do their own profiling, piece their intelligence report together. And then the man would have been followed from one border point to another, particularly when the route was established. But what was wrong was that was busted. It was busted.
By the leak of the information.
It's like somebody in drugs now, for instance, or well, let us look at weapons smuggling. Somebody is carrying arms, small arms, and is smuggling them from one country to another. It is not just enough to arrest that man. Sometimes you could follow him closely to see who is going to receive, and then who is distributing, and then where it's going to. Then you'll be able to catch the entire cartel.
That's broadening the process.
Yes, but if you limited him to just that man, that's why sometimes when the police say investigation is going on, and sometimes they don't want to release certain information, people are wondering why. Sometimes it's not enough to just cut the matter from the legs. It's good to follow it up, gather everybody that is supposed to be involved in that chain. It's a chain. This man was not going to walk alone. Now, you follow him up. All of this from one point to the other, monitor him with the gadgets. Okay, particularly when the vehicle was known, the vehicle registration number, all of that was released to the public. It was sad, Mike. It was indeed, to me, many applauded it, but the good job, the good intelligence job done by a particular security agency was butchered along the line for that singular reason, for whatever reason I do not know. Whether, forgive my word, whether it was overzealousness, well, you didn't find out all of this. You were merely written to say, be on alert. Full check on this. This is the person, this is the vehicle, this is the registration number, this is the route, possible route. Okay? Ilela, Jibia, okay, they came down to the south. Idiroko, possible, and then in case he's changing route, particularly when it was known that he was coming through land. All of these were meant to have been followed to a logical conclusion. Get this man arrested, arrest all of those who were supposed to be involved also, get confessions from these persons, reduce the essence of who were the Nigerians. Were they members of ISWAP? That was not told. Were they members of Boko Haram? That was not told. Were they members of any of the bandits gang? That was not told. Where do they belong? Are they members, just ordinary members of the public? Apparently no. Those 4 Nigerians must be terrorists. Now it is butchered. You arrest them, fine. Take them to court. What evidences do you have against them? At what point did you arrest them? What did you find on them? The lead was butchered in between the line. And so you have given the man a soft route to escape. Apparently they would have broken that movement, and then the thing wouldn't continue anymore, and then they go to re-strategize.
All right. So what's the way forward now?
The way forward is that simple. For want of time, Mike, I know you always have a way of pricking me. The way forward is simple. When we train these security agents, we talk about collaboration. They need to work hand in hand together, but something is still definitely wrong. How do you manage information? How do you manage your beat? How do you manage what is given to you to do? Because it's division of labor. You are the presenter here. I am the interviewee. Okay, you ask the questions, I respond to them. The viewers do their own by watching, and then everybody plays this role perfectly well. And then you see. Security is the business of everybody. I kept saying this and I maintain it. What we need to do is not just enough to gather information. It's not just enough to gather intel. It's not just enough for surveillance. How do you manage the security report that comes to you? How do you play your role? How do you play your role? Some of this information are supposed to be on secret documents that are not supposed to be immediately let out to the public. But the moment you let them out to the public, then the whole essence is defeated. Tell me now, between 17th and 31st that this man is supposed to come, apparently his people are watching us. His people are reading the newspapers. They are also gathering intel. They forward to him to also control his movement and his activity. They give him information on ground, just like the security agents. But because the security agents were ahead of them, they were able to do all of that, profile him, got all the information they needed, and simply passed it on to those who were supposed to man the borders for human movement, which is the NIS. I think the NIS has not done well. Forgive my choice of words. In a situation like this, do you expect heads to roll? Because if it was a situation where the information leaked the way it is described, it leaked from a point. It is traceable to where it was leaked from. Because a letter was sent to the NIS. At the point it was leaked, it was not the original letter that was sent to NIS. It was not on that corridor. It was what was sent was the letter now written from the original letter from the DSS to the NIS. The one the NIS now wrote to its land commanders, to its border commanders. And those of them they expected to be on alert or at alert. Within that chain, it is traceable to where the information got leaked from. And the letter circulated is the letter from the NIS to its commanders, which meant that it is known. The good job and beautiful job that was done by a particular security agent was leaked at a point. So at that point, certain persons should be called to question. Because what you have done is you have not helped the nation. You have succeeded in allowing a terrorist to still exist and go back and re-strategize
All right. Okay, we have to leave it here for want of time, but I know this is something we have to look at again from other perspectives. I must thank you very much, Darlington Umoru, for your insight and time on the program.
Well, don't thank me yet. Your thanks will come when I see the things in my boots. It's Christmas season.
You will be happier, I told you.
No, you said that viewers have watched you, they have heard you. So when I take you to court, they will serve as my witnesses.
Don't worry, you'll be happy. Even if you go to court,
Not
you'll
happy,
be happy.
you said happier.
You'll be happier, of course.
There's difference between I'm happy now.
Yes,
you
you'll
said
be happier.
I'll be happier because those things will go with me.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome, Mike.